Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Southeast Termite and Pest Control. Here is a New Year's resolution for you. Start trusting your home to Southeast Termite. I have for many, many years. Regular treatments, fall invader treatments, anti-mosquito treatments. I've done them all. They all work. Southeast Termite and Pest Control. It's the largest locally owned pest control company still in East Tennessee. When you spend with them, your money stays right here in the area. SoutheastTermite.com to learn more about this great family-owned business. Okay, in this segment, we are going to talk a little bit about the defense and how Tennessee's defense needs to improve. And I've got Josh Ward. We'll throw to him and let him talk a little bit about some of the comings and goings in terms of that roster. Josh.
Yeah, thanks, John. And we'll take a look at players that you need to know that are moving on from Tennessee, and then guys that will have a chance both coming back for, I'll say, a second season in this case, and then newcomers that will have a chance to compete for playing time right away. So as we look at players to know that are leaving, the departures start with Tennessee's one All-SEC defender. That's Byron Young, edge rusher. He's going to be an NFL draft pick. He is a key player to have to replace disruptive all season long, including on Friday night. Two guys in the middle here, Jeremy Banks at linebacker and then Trayvon Flowers in the defensive backfield. Technically, Tennessee has already started the process of replacing them, and you probably liked what you saw the other night. But Banks, a leader at linebacker all season. Aaron Beasley coming back will be a player to help lead the way with Banks departing. Flowers in the secondary, and then Latrell Bumpus, a guy that played a lot of football for Tennessee over the last 5 or 6 years. To the guys coming back and newcomers. I'll start with Joshua Josephs. He's going to be a second-year edge rusher. You have to replace Young. Well, how about Josephs? I think he'll be a breakout candidate next year. In the defensive backfield, these guys are kind of representative of a class of freshmen that will compete. But Jordan Matthews, talented corner out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, beat out Texas and LSU for him. And then John Slaughter, Tim Banks has already sung his praises from bowl practice. And then Elijah Herring played the other night. He's a talented second-year linebacker coming back who can hit. Made a play in the passing game, knocking down a football. He will have a chance to start, I think, next year at linebacker. Also, a talented freshman brother coming in Caleb Herring. So we go to the former players now. Will, Justin, Marlon, what do you see from what Tennessee's defense needs to be next year?
Yeah, thanks, Josh. I think starting with our defensive coordinator here, what are you seeing? If you have this defense coming back, this roster, where are you saying the biggest hole I need to plug?
I think you've got to take a look at what Byron Young was able to give you. That, to me, I love the way he plays. I love what he brought to the table all year long, and I think you've got to be able to find somebody that you can plug in and play there. In the SEC, though, playing in that schedule, you've got to have interior linemen. We know that. You've got to have guys. You've got to have a rotation of guys, a hockey line switch available. And then in the secondary, you've got to have guys that are able to make not just cover, but able to make plays on the football when it's in the air and able to tackle when the offenses force you to do that.
Harlan, how about you looking at that?
A good one you said was replacing Byron Young. Joseph could be that player. I think you're missing a star edge rusher. And what I mean is by star is on 3rd and 5+, the commentators are knowing this is the guy that you have to block. That's the guy that's coming to go make a play. And then after that, I would probably say you need a serviceable cornerback over there. I played with a guy by the name of Cameron Sutton. Wasn't a great player, but offenses knew you don't want to take your shot over there in a must-have passing down. I think Tennessee's missing one of those guys at corner and a star edge rusher. I think this defense will be completely a much better defense if you get those two fit.
I agree with that. The other thing I noticed yesterday against in the bowl games, if you looked at TCU getting pressure, you looked at Alabama a couple times getting pressure, they had a great inside defensive tackle pass rusher. And that was also just kind of the revelation. We always talk about the edge rusher, but having that one guy that can beat a double team, can win a one-on-one, and get right in the quarterback's face very early on. Because I think we looked at it, right? Clemson, you hit the quarterback, it's like a boxer. You hit the body enough, the head falls. It doesn't take long. They're going to do that, and it's going to get you. You've got to play in this league. Defense is always going to give a lot of points. But you got to be able to hit that quarterback and make him make mistakes.
That's the whole key. I mean, in every level of football, affecting the quarterback is key to playing good defense. But it goes back to what we mentioned in the last segment of your yards per carry, where you've got to have guys that can stuff that run for you. Yep. You stuff the run, you put yourself in situations where we can get after the passer. You have that single guy that now you can, the way you align, you can get protections the way you want them. And then now you get one-on-ones for your interior guys. So
right.
it all goes hand in hand.
Josh, John, back to you.
See, this is what happens when I let Josh host one show. One show. He starts demanding segments, and then they start calling me Josh. All right. We're going to do that same thing. We're going to roll it back when we come back, and we're going to talk about the offense and what they need to improve. We'll let the former players talk about it. We'll let Josh tell you who's leaving and also introduce some of the big guys that they're going to be counting on next year. That is next on the Sports Source. Come on back.